Hey guys, all things MTG here. Welcome to untap, upkeep, go, or draw. Sorry, my bad. Where me, your co-host, along with Nicobolas here, to tell you about all the weekly Magic the Gathering news and spoilers for that week that usually are uploaded on Fridays. So this week in con spoilers has been pretty eventful. We've had the cons of the different clans spoiled, the Mardu and Sultai, and we've also had the legendary dragons for the different colors, the different color combinations spoiled. And let me say, the green-red one, a Tarka World Render for a green and a red, and 5 colors, we get a 5/5, I think, who, whenever a dragon you control attacks, it gains double strike. And let me just say, she will be going in my Prosh deck because she's that good. Really the only dragon that I've really liked so far. The others have been good, but not my favorite. Now, before we start this little treat I've got laid out for you guys this week, I'm going to tell you about a giveaway. The first place winner will get a foil Fireman Avenger, and the second place will get an Icy Blast, non-foil. Nicobolas will guard these, and I'm sure Nicobolas wants to be reprinted in M16, since the last reprint they did of him was in M16. 13, sorry. So this treat, we have I have a deck tech for you guys, a commander deck. Probably my most used commander deck besides Prosh. We have Shattergang Brothers. Our lands, we have one-footed wooded foothills, one fetch. We have a Gruul Turf, a Rot Farm, and a Canarium. We have a temple or stomping ground, overgrown tomb, and blood crypt, our cycle. And then we have our temples, of course, you know, Malice, Abandon, and Malady. We have our basic lines being 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mountains, 1, 2, 3, I believe 4 forests, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 swamps, which is the basic lands. We have Colony Garden, Nixos, because we can have more than, typically we can get lots of devotion from this deck, because this is a slow and grindy deck. We have Command Tower, perfect in a 3-color deck. Ancient Tomb, Savage Land gets us those colors. Arcane Lighthouse lets us get rid of something that has like Shroud or Hexproof. Really useful. And we have Crypt of Agadim, you know, because occasionally we'll get lots of black creatures in our graveyard to get mana. Thespian Stage can copy any land and give us utility. Keep makes tokens. And we're gonna start on our down from our curve. So we're gonna start at the top and go down, because that's how we're gonna work. We have our this guy's in front. Artisan of Kozilek. He's our 1/9 drop in the deck. Whenever he enters the battlefield, you may return something from the graveyard to the battlefield to get more advantage. Then we have our Elvish Mystic, Green Sun Zenith, Soul Ring, obviously, Skull Clamp, Rancor, Arbor Elf, Viscera Seer, Phyrexian Reclamation, Mog War Marshal makes tokens when he dies and enters play. Hooded Hydra makes tokens when he dies and can be huge, which is good with as a mana sink. Strionic Resonator doubles a trigger like any of the token making triggers, or a Hooded Hydra trigger, maybe. Demonic Tutor just lets us tutor for something. Viridian Emissary lets us look for a land. Jet Medallion. This deck is heavy black, so making our black spells cheaper is good. This also helps with Wake the Dead, which is a good card. I like it a lot. Regrowth lets me get something I want from my hand, from the graveyard back to my hand. Savage Punch. This card, I like it. Lets me get some some removal for creatures in case I can't recast my general. And it also, a lot of the time, I'll be triggering that Ferocious, so it'll just kill a creature. Mind Stone lets me draw a card late game, and lets me tap for 1 mana. Diabolic Intent, I almost always have a creature to sack for 5 to tutor it. Dark Tutelage gets me card advantage, and can, when I'm about to die from it, I can sacrifice it to get rid of other enchantments. Pharika lets me exile the graveyard to get tokens. Shunt lets me change target of a spell that may blow up something I need. Act of Treason for some Jack and Sack. Jar of Eyeballs lets me filter the top cards of my library and put something in my hand I want. Moriok Replica can sacrifice as a creature, an artifact, or to its ability to draw some cards. Hammer of Perforos gives creatures haste and makes artifact enchantment creatures, which is the best part. Darksteel Ingot, some indestructible ramp, mana rock. Sprouting Thrynax, he's 3/3 for 3, that makes a token when he dies, because you can almost guarantee he'll be dying. Goblin Sharpshooter, when he taps to deal damage, when a creature dies he untaps. This goes well with a card, Shriveling Rot, in the deck. Synergizes well, allows me to wipe whole boards and deal lots of damage. Gliss of the Trader lets me bring back some artifacts that I need. Dark Prophecy lets me draw cards. If it is Savra, if there's a green creature, let me gain life and just have another Grave Pact effect on the black creature. Erebos, because at the card store this deck plays out a lot. There's a lot of life gaining decks. This stops at and allows me to draw more cards. Reaper lets me scry when a creature dies. Xenagos makes tokens to sacrifice and can make me lots of mana for creatures when I have a lot of tokens and stuff. Aggressive Mining, you can't play lands. Sacrifice the land to draw 2 cards. This deck can get land flooded easily, which is good with this, so I can draw cards. And when I need more lands, I can always sacrifice it. Solemn lets me look for a land, put it into play tapped, and when it dies, I draw a card and I can sacrifice it as an artifact or a creature. Oracle of Moldiah lets me ramp pretty good. I like a lot. Disciple of Bolas lets me sacrifice a creature to gain some life. If I use this with the Artisan of Kozilek, I can gain 10 life and draw 10 cards, which is pretty nice. Shriveling Rot, he has 2 modes. When a creature is dealt damage, destroy it, and until end of turn, when a creature is put in a graveyard from play, that creature's controller loses life. Of course, a lot of the time we will entwine this card for the 7 and the 3 black it needs. Can be kind of mana intensive, but easy to get with Nykthos or something out. Really good with Goblin Sharpshooter, you know, lets us just wipe the board. Gerard, he's like another guy in here, Crash. He gets big, but his can be, you know, changed. And he's one of the best, my favorite, and probably the best sacrifice outlets in this deck. Cryptghast lets me get more black mana and can give me some life gain with the Extort. Krenko, my commander's a goblin. There are several cards in here that make goblins. This guy can make lots of goblins to sacrifice, or if I need to, just overwhelm the board with goblins. Garrick, he makes tokens and lets me draw cards and can make lots of 6/6s if I manage to ultimate him with a lot of lands in play. And next we have Ant Queen. It's a 5/5 for 5, 2 colorless and 3, with an ability that lets you tap a green and a colorless to put a 1/1 insect. You can use this repeatedly. Obnixilis, the Black Oath. Some more life gain and gives you some life loss for your opponents. Gives you 5/5 tokens. And the emblem is a Disciple of Bolus that you can use for just 2 mana whenever you want. Seedborn Muse lets me untap all my permanents I control during each other player's untap step, which is amazing with that, which is just amazing. Acidic Slime lets me blow up lands or other things like that I can't touch otherwise. It's really good. Lets me get rid of stuff like Cabal Coffers. Siege Gang, another one of those cards that sacrifice goblins. And this one's more a sack outlet that lets me get rid of my general if he's gonna be tucked to deal some damage. Ogre Slumlord makes tokens when they die, and those tokens get Death Touch. Liliana allows for some hand control and tutoring, which is nice. And then her ultimate is nice if you can reach it. Kresh, this is the guy who Gerard wants to be. He is amazing, and he can actually be swapped out to be the general with almost no changes to the deck. Dictate of Erebos, whenever an opponent with Flash, which makes it the best, do some tricks, and each opponent gets to sacrifice 2 creatures for every 1 you sacrifice. Mass Mutiny for a jack and sack on all players. For 5 mana, so it's a little more mana intensive than Act of Treason, but a little better. Next we have Infernal Offering, lets you sacrifice a creature to draw some cards, and with another play you can use it politically, where you return a creature from your graveyard to the battlefield. So you can use some politics for that, because the targets can be 2 different players. Massacre Worm, this wreaks havoc on a token decks at my card store. 8 creatures your opponents control get -2/-2. And then when a creature dies, in general, your opponent loses 2 life. Spine lets you blow up other target permanents and it comes back. Butcher of Malakir, another Dictate of Erebos and Grave Pact effect. Next we have Sepulchral Primordial. Sorry, Nicobolas. Some clumsy working in here, it's kind of a tight space. Sepulchral Primordial lets you get stuff back, which is really nice because you can get value from cards in colors that can't be played. Overseer of the Damned, he's a removal spell on a stick, and you make 2/2 zombies whenever creatures die, which is nice. Plus he's a 5/5 flyer. Finally we have Symbiotic Worm, which is really nice because it's a 7/7. When it's put into a graveyard from play, put 7 1/1 green insects. So, you get a whole bunch of insects for that creature dying, which is really effective because you can gain life off of several with it. Trigger Dictate of Erebos and Butcher of Malakir, and all sorts of other stuff. So, of course, we're nearing. Now we talk about some more spoilers. Of course, the Sultai Khan, his name is crap, I can't think, but it starts with an S, and I know he has Delve, and he costs 5 mana, and I don't know why I'm hissing now, getting into the flavor of Sultai. But he lets you get some cards, put cards into a pile for 4 mana, colorless or blue, green or blue hybrid, two green or blue hybrid, and then 2 colorless. And an opponent chooses some cards and you put them into piles. and the opponent can choose which one to go into a graveyard, to go onto the battlefield or whatever. And another card, what was that thing? Oh yes, the new Clash Pack, Power and like Strength, but they have reprint with they're printing with alternate art. Courser of Krufix again. Hero's Downfall, some amazing art. What is it? Necropolis Fiend, Sultai Ascendancy. I really like the art on. And there's some other cards, but the main thing is the Courser of Krufix. I like the art, but do they really need to print it for a third time? I mean, seriously. Give another green card the spotlight, is what I think. And don't you agree, Nicobolus? Yes, we know you want to get reprinted in M16. Don't worry. Wizards, you'll have one Angry Dragon if they don't get reprinted in M16. If Nicobolus doesn't get reprinted, you'll have an Angry Dragon. Especially since you decided to print Ugin, however you want to pronounce it. And now we're nearing the end of our video. The criteria for this giveaway is you have to put your favorite color in Magic and why, and what your first commander deck was, and if you still have it or not. And in next week's video, I will pull random names from people who commented about those things in this video. And I will pull 2 people's names, and if they don't contact me after that video in like a private message, I'll pull 2 more names in the next video. But this has been All Things MTG. Nicobolus says bye as well. Don't forget to follow my Twitter to find and watch my other videos. Bye.